Hey creative friends, it's Gwen with you back today to share another scrapbooking process video, and this layout is part of the What Does School Mean to You September School YouTube Hop that Sarah Scraps is hosting, and I'm actually rounding out day number 1. I'll pop some details below for you to check out who's up next and what's happening over the 4 days, so all the details will be below. So for today's layout, I'll be using Echo Park All Girl Collection. It's a very pretty girly collection that's very young themed. And I'll be scrapbooking these 2 photos of my daughter, Caitlin. So in these photos, she was in prep at our school I'm in Australia. And yeah, so prep is the year that you go to school before year 1. Now I have gone ahead and done a couple of things off camera just to keep this video nice and short. I am using this cut file for my background and it's called Starfall and it's from my shop Cut to You. I've gone ahead and backed all the stars in quite neutral patterns from the pattern paper pad in the collection. And I'm also going to be using, sort of playing on the stars there, and my title's going to be Star Bright. Now I do have a bit of a plan for this page, and I am going to be using my American Crafts alphabet alignment guides because I want to have my title on an angle like that. I want it sort of arched and soft. I'm just not sure at this stage how everything's going to be positioned, so I do have a little bit of a play with that. And in fact, this layout is a lot about that. It was a lot of just having a play and enjoying it and not taking it too seriously. And I think that was really also because of the fun photos that I was scrapbooking. They really do bring me a lot of joy, these ones. So I just wanted to keep it really light-hearted, really sweet, and yeah, I think I did that. So here, just in the beginning, I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to lay out the page. I wasn't sure whether I wanted the bulk of the stars down that left edge or down the right edge. And it's funny, watching it back, both work, and I'm not sure why I was so concerned about that and didn't just make a decision. But yeah, I wanted to be sure, and I wanted to see everything on the page in its rough location before I kind of committed to locking things down. The good news is I do end up with it on this right hand side, and I think the reason for that was really just the way that the title Starburst fitted and the way that the unicorn was looking. So when it was on the other side, the unicorn was looking away from the photos, whereas with it positioned where it is now, the unicorn is sort of looking down towards the photos. I hope that makes sense. Now I was also super keen to use this chipboard element on the page. It says she leaves a little sparkle wherever she goes. And I really felt like it fitted A, her personality, and B, like the star theme and the fun theme of the page. But it ends up being really blocky, really heavy. It kind of comes back to what I was saying before about my title. And it's such a shame. I hate it when that happens. You've got something that you really, really desperately want to use and it fits so well in some ways, but then you just can't get it on the page. So yeah, that happens to me too. So if that happens to you, it happens to me too. Now, while I continue working away at the layout here, I did want to just mention that I will pop some links below for you to check out. The first one is a link to Christina's YouTube channel. Now, she is kicking off day 2, so I am the end of day 1, so you should have been to 10 other ladies before me. If you have not, there's a link below so that you can see all the order of everybody. So yeah, I'm finishing off day 1. Christina's going to be kicking us off in day 2. So be sure to pop back tomorrow and check out her channel. I believe there's 40 of us, all with layouts that are themed for school. So whatever that means to you, if that's home learning, if that's facilitated online learning, or at the moment we're lucky here in Australia, my daughter is back to regular school. whatever that means to you, I'm sure that there's going to be some inspiration and ideas that you can use for your layouts for your little ones who are all at school. So yeah, so be sure to check that out. I'll also pop a link to a freebie cut file that I have in my shop, so you can grab that if you haven't already. A lot of my ladies will have that one, but if you haven't seen that one, check that out. And yeah, also to my project planner. So I have an A5 PDF free download project planner, which I love to use to pre-plan out my project, so you can also grab that for free, and the link for that's down below as well. So lots of goodies for you there. Okay, things are getting serious because I have my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive out and I am gluing down my title. And see how easy that was? I could just add the glue to the top part of the title and then slide out the aligner, and my title is perfectly positioned. So handy. Now I'm also attaching my photos now and making sure that they are exactly where I want them. It's funny because I think I find positioning straight photos much easier than, say, crooked ones, because it's that balance between making them look crooked on purpose but not too crooked. I hope that makes sense. I don't know, but just for me, when they're straight, it's like, yes, they're straight. I meant them to be straight and they are straight. But when they're crooked, yeah, they have to be crooked on purpose. Oh gosh, I hope that makes sense and I don't sound silly. Anywho, as you can see, there's that square sentiment that she leaves a little sparkle. I'm really keen to get it on this page, but it just, see, even then, now looking at it, it is so blocky and so heavy. Ugh. And at this point, I'm kind of down to the last few embellishments from this collection that I feel will fit the page and the flow of the page. And I do struggle a little bit here because I'm feeling like it's not coming quite together the way that I want it to just yet. It's funny actually, because I would say maybe 80% of my layouts have a point like this. I get to a point where I have this idea at the beginning and I can see it coming together and I lock in a few things, and then it kind of unravels a little bit and I go, oh, this is just not quite right. It's like 80% there but not quite right. But for this page I do have a plan. I've kind of, at this point, I realized that there was nothing left in that collection that could work or would work that I wanted to use. So then I went through my stash and I've done a bit of stash busting. I've pulled out that collection there, which is Pink Paisley Hello Sunshine, and that's from 2014. And that really, I loved the idea of using that because it was the exact same colors and it had sort of like a similar young theme. And funnily though, I say it had the exact same colors. In the end, I actually only use a couple of pieces from that collection and they are both black, which includes that smile sentiment there on the left and the cute little black camera there. Oh yes, and those clouds, so they're not black, so it's not completely black. But yeah, it was funny because the reason I chose that collection was because of the colors. Now I've also gone ahead and pulled out my big box of crepe paper chipboard. So when a collection that I've purchased gets a little bit older and I only have a few bits and pieces left of it, I pull it apart and I pop them all together in that box. Because they're all really similar theme and feel to them, so they go together really quite well, and I find that that's been really helping me use those pieces up, especially if I've only got one or two pieces left in a collection. So yeah, and how perfect do those balloons fit there? I was so happy about that because that embellishment is actually quite big. Let me measure it. I want to say it's like, let's see, 10 centimeters high. So I had actually auditioned that chipboard piece onto quite a few pages in the past, and it never felt quite right. It was either too big, or yeah, it didn't suit the feel of the page, or yeah. So I'm so happy that I managed to get that on here, and it fits just the way that it fits between the T and the unicorn there. I'm just so happy with that. So yeah. Oh yes, and I also added a sweet little bow because I'm all about them bows, and that one I've made just with a die cut through my Sizzix. I don't even know what brand it was. I think it might even be like a generic one from like that was branded by the shop. So I want to say Craft Queen years ago, maybe 10 years ago. But I'm sure it wasn't a brand like Spellbinders, or yeah, I'm sure it was like the shop brand. So yeah. So you might still be, I'm sure you'd be able to find something like that if you don't already have something, a simple bow in your stash. And the page is coming back together. So we're unraveled a little bit, but just with those extra few things, I feel like we're over the hump and it's coming back together. And yeah, as I said, that happens to me quite a lot. In the beginning, I used to almost stop the page, or sometimes I did. I would go, oh, this isn't working, and I'd actually stop the page and start again, thinking that I couldn't pull it back together. But now I'm almost expecting this stage. I'm ready for it, and I've kind of learned over time to like just press through, keep going, and B, yeah, like either pull some new supplies, or sometimes it's just taking a break. Yeah, I'm learning that it's just part of the process, and that yeah, there's some life advice there too. Just press on when things get a little bit tricky or a little bit hard. It'll come together in the end. So I have jumped ahead a bit here, and the page is almost complete. The finishing touch I'm going to add are these pink puffy hearts. These ones are from Bella Boulevard, and they do come in lots of colors. There's white and yellow and pink, and yeah, I find them really, really versatile. They suit my style. What page doesn't need a puffy heart, I think? And they're a bit bigger than the normal ones, so I quite like that about these. So thanks for joining me today on the hop. I hope you've been enjoying what you've seen so far, and that you come back tomorrow and visit all the girls that are on the list for tomorrow. They've got some really great projects coming up for you. I'll leave you with some close-up images at the end of the video, and I'm going to also give you a little peek here so you can see all that detail, all the lovely layers. Don't forget to subscribe if my page inspired you in any way, and I'll see you next time, creatives. Thanks again. Bye.